Well, we love animals. I remember we always had a dog. One day I was going down to see my father, and I may have been eighth grade, maybe freshman, and I walked by this place, and I saw this poor dog out in the blazing sun and chained to a stake in the ground, and I couldn't see any water around.
Seeing that dog suffer was meaningful to Senator Dole, and I think began his path to wanting to protect animals the rest of his life.
It's just been a part of his life. He's been very much on top of animal welfare issues throughout his entire career.
Senator Dole is deserving of the Presidential Service Award for his lifetime of work for animals and for the ASPCA. In the 70s and in the 80s, Senator Dole introduced successfully legislation to protect farm animals, to protect laboratory animals, to protect dogs and cats. And that work that he began then has continued to this very day.
I've continued after I left Congress to make animal welfare one of my top priorities.
Having Senator Dole in our corner has been a tremendous asset for the ASPCA. His credibility on the Hill is unparalleled. When Senator Dole calls, members of Congress pick up the phone and they listen. Having Senator Dole at the Capitol Hill adoption events is a boon to the organization. Senator Dole attracts more people, and more people means more adoptions.
This past February, when Bob and I were at the ASPCA event on Capitol Hill, he just fell in love with a little dog named Franklin. And I feel certain if there had been no adoption that we would have had Franklin as a third dog. I used to take Leader, who was our first dog. I'd take him to the Department of Transportation where I served as secretary. And then he also went with Bob to Capitol Hill and to his Senate office.
So he would stay up in the mail room with a lady named Ruth Ann Comark, and she would put a sign on the door that said, "The Leader is in."
His whole life has been lived for others, making a difference, a positive difference for others. And I think he's a man who feels, so important to be humble and to really to have a mission field where you can make a difference. That's the point of life in his view.
I felt I had a responsibility when I knew how animals were treated to help do things that would help that animal or animals. I never sat back and say, boy, am I proud of myself. Proud's not the word, but I'm very pleased that I had so many opportunities to work on different pieces of legislation that made a difference for animals.